What up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Titans Tube. This is the Week 6 matchup of the Titans versus the Cleveland Browns. And for this episode, we brought in our Browns fan right there.
Welcome,
Browns fan. And first off, sorry.
For being on the show. Yeah.
Sorry that you're a Browns fan, but
he refused to come on the show if he had to show his face.
But he did come on the show, so we're thankful for that. So anyways, can you tell us a little bit about the Browns? Break them down for us, talk about some key players. So he doesn't play for them anymore.
Yeah, it's a little outdated.
I don't think he'll have an impact on the game really. You know what? We'll just take over.
Yeah,
from here,
no, yeah, we can take it from here.
We got some stats on the Browns.
Thanks for the input.
Yeah,
and you know what? If the Browns win against the Titans, we will put brown bags over our heads for the highlight recap video.
Anyways, let's get into the breakdown ourselves, since that wasn't extremely helpful to the upcoming game.
Yeah.
But so Browns this year are 0-5. Winless team, coming off a bad loss to the Patriots. Whoever scheduled that, that's just not fair to do to the Browns, man. Come on, Tom Brady's return, you're going to schedule him against Cleveland?
Setting them up for failure.
You know he's going to be mad.
All right, so Cleveland actually, in a lot of these team statistical categories, they kind of line up similarly with the Titans. Like their passing offense, they average 225 yards per game, which is 25th in the NFL. Doesn't sound good, but the Titans are only averaging 209 yards per game, which is 28th. So they do put up a little bit more yards through the air, but their rushing offense, better than you would think. They are number 5 in the league in rushing offense. So their ground game is where their strength is. And as far as their passing defense, they have the 25th rated pass defense and then the 20th rated rushing defense. So their defense kind of struggles. They're sort of in the lower tier of the league in those categories. So yeah, well, hopefully we can just exploit that. If
you look at turnover differential, they're exactly dead even with us at -2. So there's no doubt about it that the Browns have been struggling. They lost to the Eagles week 1. They lost to the Ravens week 2. They played the Dolphins close, went to overtime, still lost, and we just showed how bad the Dolphins are. Lost to the Redskins pretty handily, and then past week against the Patriots, not even fair. Tom Brady was on fire. They got destroyed. Yep. Sorry, it's been a rough year for the Browns.
It's okay. You guys have LeBron. You have LeBron. So they have played some good teams, like the Eagles and Patriots. Ravens are decent, but they also lost to the Dolphins, Redskins, teams that aren't looking as good this year. So yes, Cleveland is 0-5, but please, Titans fans, let us not have a short memory. This Cleveland team has beaten us the past 2 years. The first time was the biggest comeback by a road team in NFL history. They came back from 25 points down. I thought my life was going to end on that night, but somehow I made it through.
I think I did die and then was resurrected later.
Thank goodness.
Once we drafted Mariota.
Was it the Red Woman?
It was the
Red Woman. Did she come back?
Yes.
Nice. And then the second time last year, Johnny Manziel led the Browns to a 2-touchdown victory over the Titans. That's the last time I'm ever going to say that again. So very unfortunate. The Titans have a history of losing to really bad teams. We've lost to an 0-8 Jaguars team a couple years ago. We lost to an 0-11 Colts team a few years ago. So we can't look past any opponent. This is going to be a big game for us to show that we are now above the lower tier teams in the NFL. I think this is a big game.
Anyways, the Browns have really struggled this year on multiple levels. Mainly their quarterback play, which has been sporadic and just inconsistent with who they're starting.
So they had RG3, went down week 1. For the rest of the year, no surprise there.
They've just had some bad luck this year. They're not just totally bad.
There's some kind of curse hanging over them.
There is a curse. Anyways, continue.
Anyways, yeah, so then they had Josh McCown.
Josh McCown was next.
Josh McCown next, boom, went down with injury. Then their rookie, Cody Kessler, stepped up, boom, went down, got hurt. They signed, after that, Charlie Clipboard Jesus Whitehurst.
Amen.
And he came in, played, what was it, half a game, 3/4 of a game.
Yep.
Went down, got hurt, and after the game he got cut from the team. And of course they do have Terrell Pryor, who came into the league as a quarterback, and then he has now found his rebirth as a wide receiver for the Browns, which is now he's like their best player.
But he does play a few snaps at quarterback here and there.
But he does. We could see some of that on Sunday. They could be coming with some trickery with Terrell Pryor back there, so we should be wary of everything that they have coming. But yes, their quarterbacks have been an issue for them, as is always the case with the Browns. But I think we're looking at Cody Kessler this week. I think he is going to be the one primed to start against the Titans.
So we've talked about their quarterbacks. Let's talk about our quarterback, how he's playing. Our quarterback is super hot right now. Mariota coming off a 4-touchdown performance against the Dolphins. I think he silenced a lot of his early season critics. So it was really good to see out of him, making the correct reads, correct throws, using his legs a lot. He had more rushing yards than the whole Miami Dolphins team did last week. That's awesome.
And it also helps we had the best rushing performance of the season so far, with DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry in the backfield, and Mariota himself running the ball. So as long as he's getting that kind of compliment from the rest of the offense, Mariota can do good things and make good decisions. But yeah, he definitely played really well this last game. Best game of the year so far, by far. Biggest thing, he did not turn the ball over one time.
Yep.
We're going to be in every game this year, I think, as long as we take care of the football.
I think everyone in Tennessee kind of breathed a sigh of relief, being like, there's the Marcus we know and love. Thank God he's back, and I'm looking for him to continue that into a weak Cleveland team this Sunday. So going up against Cody Kessler, a rookie QB who's been hurt, and an offense that's struggling, I think advantage clearly lies with Mariota.
Yes.
Finally, we get to give him the advantage.
We got the advantage in the QB category. Yeah. Suck it, Kessler. I don't like how this sound looks.
I don't know what that means.
Anyway.
Let's go right on to the run game, which we've already talked about. Titans coming off an amazing performance. Best of the year, team-wise. Over 230 yards rushing combined from Mariota, Murray, and Henry.
It was our most yards rushing since 2009, I believe it was, since CJ 2K ran for 2K yards. So, man, great performance by the offensive line and the running backs, too.
All three of them. Marcus looked great in his runs. I saw him do a little high step once, like he had some confidence. I saw a stat where Murray broke 13 tackles against the Dolphins.
Ridiculous.
There's only 6 players in the NFL who've broken 13 tackles this year.
And Derrick Henry probably had the most impressive run of the day on that 22-yard run. Man, he can fly. And
he looked fantastic.
It is hard not to want to see more from Derrick Henry, but it's also hard not to want to give the ball to DeMarco Murray. Like, that's an excellent problem to have.
Or just tell Marcus to run it every play, because that dude is fast. Yeah, most of our run game is attributed to our #1 offensive line. That's right, I said it again. #1 offensive line in the NFL.
I still can't
believe it. Way to go,
it.
guys. I can't believe it either. So our run game's looking strong. Cleveland's run game, like you said, though, is surprisingly better than you would think.
Isaiah Crowell is looking really good this year. He had a really impressive, I think, longest play so far this year, an 85-yard touchdown run where he just flew past everybody. So he's got some major speed. He has the 5th most rushing yards in the NFL. We definitely need to key on him, make sure he doesn't get going. And their backup, Duke Johnson Jr., is also a good complementary running back. We need to be wary of him. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. So they have a couple of pretty good running backs back there. So, yeah, we can't take them lightly.
Yeah, and they also have Joe Thomas on the offensive line, who a future Hall of Famer. So they have some talent in the backfield at running back, and then on the line. The Titans' run game is class of the league right now. TBH. Advantage lies with the Titans on this one, too. No doubt.
No doubt. Give us that check mark.
No doubt. On to wide receivers and TEs. That's tight ends for all you laymen out there. So
the only weapons for the Browns, who are some legitimate weapons, is Terrell Pryor, the former quarterback, switched to receiver, who is all of a sudden making crazy athletic, acrobatic plays and catches out of nowhere. So he's definitely a legitimate receiver. And then they also have Gary Barnidge, who had a great year last year catching the ball. He's also a good blocker. And they have a couple other receivers who contribute. Andrew Hawkins, I think. He caught a touchdown last week. So they've got an assortment of guys. But Terrell Pryor, Gary Barnidge, I think are their main receiving weapons for that Browns offense.
On to our receiving game.
Rashard Matthews, I think, took a step last game. I mean, yeah, he got his first receiving touchdown, but he's looking good. We need to see more of that from him this year.
But our whole passing game in general looked way better against the Dolphins than it had all season. Not just from Mariota's standpoint, but from our receivers as well. Delaney had a great game.
It was a good distribution of the ball.
Yeah, Rashard Matthews had a great game.
Andre Johnson caught another touchdown. What I want to see some Tajay Sharp this game. I want to see Tajay Sharp making some plays for us because he seemed to have gotten a little quiet, dropped off a little bit. So I hope we can see an improvement from him.
And I still want to see some more of Kendall Wright. I feel like they're slowly kind of working him back in since his injury. We haven't really seen a lot of him yet so far, but he's definitely a playmaker. So I think our receivers are deeper. I think we have some exceptional talent. I think the Browns have a few exceptional talents, but just
Terrell Pryor might be the best athlete on both teams.
I think advantage, I'm going to say it, and the receivers and tight ends goes with the Titans.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Haven't been able to give our receivers an advantage all year.
How does it feel? You guys have lesser receiving talent. Oh no. So, okay, that's 3 check marks for us, and now we're going to move on to the defense.
The defense.
I think you guys know where we're going to go with this one too, because the defense was lights out last week. But, of course, like we mentioned, Joe Thomas, future Hall of Famer, this Browns offensive line is not going to be like the Miami Dolphins offensive line. It's a little bit more established. They have at least a Hall of Famer on the offensive line, so that's something. But yeah, and their running game is really strong too. I think our defense has their work a little bit more cut out for them this week. But man, our pass rush was on fire last week. I really liked it.
Yeah, we're coming off 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. Very encouraging to see if we can just clean up a few of those big plays.
Yeah, big plays.
We're looking like a top 10 defense, honestly.
But as far as the Browns go, on the defensive side, they don't have a lot of big-name players, but of course the one player that they do have that leads that defense is Joe Hayden. He's an all-pro cornerback, one of the best in the league. He can make plays, so we definitely have to be wary if we're going to throw in his direction, because, yeah, he's definitely a good shutdown corner. Another player that's playing well for him this year is Christian Kirksey, who's leading their team with 45 tackles, so good linebacker play for Kirksey this year. So a couple good players for the Browns defense, but I don't think it's anything that our offense can handle. Can't handle. Sorry, said that wrong.
So amazingly, and we might not ever get to do this the rest of the season, advantage Titans on defense, which gives us advantage in all 4 categories. But before you even watch this video, you knew it, we knew it. Cleveland is a beatable team for the Titans. But that doesn't mean that we can overlook them. We have some big games coming up, some big divisional games coming up against the Jags and the Colts. But first, we have to take care of business against the Browns at home.
I don't think there's any reason we shouldn't win this game. If we lose this game, it's because we beat ourselves.
All right, so let's move on to predictions. First off, Browns fan, what is your prediction of the game?
Go Browns! I think the Titans are going to get the win, of course. I think it might be a little closer, though, than we expect. I don't think it's going to be a dominating Dolphins fashion, just because I think their pieces they're less hurt on the offensive line, so I don't think we're going to dominate them as much in the trenches. I think, though, we're going to get the win. I say 23-13.
Well, I had a very similar score in my mind, but not exactly. But I think the Titans are going to get the win too. So 27-13, Titans at home.
Now we're here. The time has come. You know our opinions. You know this guy's opinion.
Do we? No. Yeah, we did. He did.
But it all doesn't matter because fate rests in the hands of Blitz and the Blitz gods. They were right last week. We beat the Dolphins. And the Titans beat the Dolphins in real life. So, we'll see again. We're going to play Blitz and see how the Titans are going to do against the Browns. Are you ready for this? If you want your team to win, you better show it on the sticks here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're on the right side. I'm just gonna... Oh, Eddie.
Oh!
Woo! Get into own zone.
What?
Oh, no, I did it out of bounds.
One, you said like the O zone.
Cusick, thanks for being on the show with us today.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. Thank you, sir. So what can you tell us about the Miami Dolphins this year?